The governor of Illinois, JB Pritzker, delivered the commencement address at Northwestern University. And there's one moment that is going viral that's just really, really impactful that I want to show you all. This isn't as strictly political as we're normally focused on, but has a lot of political ramifications for sure, and a lot of just life applications. And so I'll show you this. He's talking about, I should give you a little more context before diving in. The key phrase you'll hear him say, and this is right at the beginning, is how do you spot an idiot? Okay? Look for the person who is cruel. The kindest person in the room is often the smartest. And I know that sounds a little gushy, a little whatever, but we'll dive into more specifically why that's just such a wise sentiment after.
The best way to spot an idiot: look for the person who is cruel. Let me explain. When we see someone who doesn't look like us, or sound like us, or act like us, or love like us, or live like us, the first thought that crosses almost everyone's brain is rooted in either fear or judgment, or both. That's evolution. We survived as a species by being suspicious of things that we aren't familiar with. In order to be kind, we have to shut down that animal instinct and force our brain to travel a different pathway. Empathy and compassion are evolved states of being. They require the mental capacity to step past our most primal urges. This may be a surprising assessment because somewhere along the way in the last few years, our society has come to believe that weaponized cruelty is part of some well-thought-out master plan. Cruelty is seen by some as an adroit cudgel to gain power. Empathy and kindness are considered weak. Many important people look at the vulnerable only as rungs on a ladder to the top. I'm here to tell you that when someone's path through this world is marked with acts of cruelty, they have failed the first test of an advanced society. They never forced their animal brain to evolve past its first instinct. They never forged new mental pathways to overcome their own instinctual fears. And so, their thinking and problem solving will lack the imagination and creativity that the kindest people have in spades. Over my many years in politics and business, I have found one thing to be universally true: the kindest person in the room is often the smartest.
Absolutely correct. It's important to call out the individual instances of cruelty, absolutely, and that's what I do on a daily basis, and so many people do within politics, of course, we're thinking of now. And also, I do think more often calling out the larger phenomenon, the larger forces at play here that cause people to fall into or decide to go after communities, target people, dehumanize others, be cruel to others. Because right now, especially on the far right, we're seeing a very common and often far too effective political strategy within certain spaces of picking a community. Often it's right now huge LGBTQ community, constant punching bag for the far right, and using that community again as a punching bag for the applause of your base and to further your political career. And people do that, politicians do that. We're seeing these this wave of anti-LGBTQ legislation and the vitriolic rhetoric that comes along with it. They do this to appear strong. I'm reminded of the Florida state lawmaker who called trans people demons and mutants. And in that speech he gave, or those remarks he delivered, he said something to the effect of, "You can come at me, but I'm going to win. I'm going to win," or something to that effect. And that was him trying to appear for whoever he feels are his followers and his supporters, him trying to appear strong as he's going after and beating up on an already targeted, dehumanized group of people. And what that is, in the case of him and so many other people, going after all different communities and all these different conversations that we have, is the best example of weakness, the most prominent, prevalent example of a weak person who chooses to push somebody down to try to feel higher up, or all the different phrases you've heard in the past to describe this phenomenon of, kind of as JB Pritzker was talking about, the instinct that people have, maybe because of evolution, as he was saying, to divide into tribes, into packs. You're thinking of wolves possibly here, and that's a way of survival that we should have evolved past. We should have become more intelligent, I should say, than a wolf pack that has to get into its little subdivided groups to survive, I don't know, or something like that. You know how nature does. And we can be so much more than just that, animals who are in our pack. And it is not acceptable to dehumanize people just because they're not in your pack or in your tribe or in your little community, your little world, your little bubble. And that's a really, really important message to put out there. And even though kindness right now is a fluffy, kind of less discussed characteristic that we should all strive to be, it really is a powerful, powerful characteristic and a powerful thing to strive to be kind. And I think one of the things I admire about, even though there are plenty of people who support incorrect policies who are very kind interpersonally, in a larger sense, progressivism, I do think, comes from a foundation of empathy, kindness, and a motivation to help other people. Even though you don't have to be this super, super empathetic person to look at the facts and understand that progressive policies yield better outcomes. Objectively, on all these different metrics, I can explain why the policies I support are good, unrelated to any feelings. But once you include the feelings, you do understand what JB Pritzker is talking about. You have to be more able to understand and care about others to want to spend your time, political capital, emotional energy fighting for the improvement of the lives of all people, and to prevent yourself from ever falling into, I'm just going to demonize whoever isn't exactly like me. And credit there to JB Pritzker. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before all the clips are able to be uploaded to the YouTube channel, plus get the bonus show on the weekends, you can do so by going to lukebeasleyshow.com/membership. That's lukebeasleyshow.com/membership, and there's a link in the description.